Hey friends, Angela here at Love God Greatly. We are starting week 4 of our Broken and Redeemed study, and this week we are looking at the life of Paul and just seeing how God redeemed his sin of pride. He was in the beginning, before he met Jesus, a very prideful man. He was a man who was dead set against Christians. He persecuted Christians and he even murdered Christians. And we see how the difference once he encountered Jesus, once Jesus entered his life, the change in Paul. And I read this story and I read the verses that we're reading today, and honestly, I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged for the fact that if God can do that, Jesus can do that in Paul's life. A man who was so against Christianity, he wanted to end it, he wanted to stop it. He killed people and persecuted them. My goodness, we read in the Bible how he held the cloaks of those who stoned Stephen. He was a man who was so blinded to the truth. Here he was so, in his eyes, so religious, so moral. He felt like he was doing all the right things for God, but yet his pride was blinding him to the truth and to God really working in his life. And so I'm encouraged, though, in the fact that if Jesus can redeem Paul and use him for his glory, and we see the difference of Saul and then Paul and the difference that Jesus made in his life, Jesus can do that again. And so maybe we have friends or family members in our lives who truly we've lost hope. We've prayed for, but we really don't have the hope or the belief that God can redeem their lives and use their lives for his glory. And yet we read about Paul this week, and I just want to say, let's be encouraged. Let's be encouraged and renewed to be praying for these people. And just be encouraged by the story of how God had worked in Paul's life and used him for his glory. And even the same in our lives, the sins of our past, God can redeem. He can redeem those sins. And I love when we're looking at Galatians 1, verse 15, where Paul says, but when God, who set me apart from birth, God had set him apart in birth. And even though there's all this sin and all these things that went on in Saul's life before he became Paul, God redeemed all that and used all that to make Paul the man that he needed for the church. And so take encouragement from that your sins and your past, God can take and he can redeem and he can use for his good and for his glory.